What is going on, everybody? So today we're going to be taking a look at 3 nano style aquariums, 2 of which are clownfish and anemone tanks. Then we're also going to take a look at my macroalgae aquarium that I have at my house. I added a couple of new inverts in there. I'm really excited about it. I want to get your opinion on it. All right, so let's go to the first tank. It's a innovative marine, I believe, 20 gallon. It's been up for a couple of years. Let's go check it out.
All right, so here we are at the customer's tank, and like I said, this is a 20-gallon innovative marine aquarium, and it's been up for a couple of years now. This thing's been running for a bit. First thing you'll notice is, like I said, it's clownfish and anemone, so got that big anemone in the middle, and then we have a clownfish there, and then a clownfish over there. So I like the contrast between the two, the white and orange, and then the black and white. It's pretty nice. It's pretty simple and not much in this aquarium. I would like to put more, but if you notice, the anemone's gotten so big now that it's starting to sting some of the coral. So you have this hammer coral to the left that doesn't look great, and it's that anemone's getting real close to stinging it. So I'm gonna end up having to move that coral out of the way because that anemone's getting way too big. So we'll move that today, because in the past that anemone stretched out before when it was over here on the right side and stung this hammer coral pretty bad. You can see some missing heads there where it did damage. So you gotta be very careful with what you put in a tank with an anemone. Also in this aquarium, we do have other types of anemones. So we have like a little carpet anemone right here, which I think I'd like to see more of those. And then some rock flowers, which again, some more rock flowers would be cool in this aquarium too. But I kind of think in the future we stay away from the Euphilia corals, the hammers and stuff, and a blasto. Now that blasto right there used to be up there, but when that anemone up top there, right on that, when that anemone decided to take a walk, it stung the heck out of that blasto and it lost a bunch of heads. So I've been keeping him here on the substrate to give him some time to recover. He's doing really good now that he's away from the anemone, but I like to see him get some more heads on him. This tank did have an algae problem back in the day, but we put some Monet cowries in here with my favorite snail, and they're doing a great job of keeping the rockwork clean and the tank overall clean. We have a royal grandma back there. Oh, and check out this worldwide coral bounce mushroom. The lights just came on, so he's not as big as he usually is, but yeah, this is our only customer that has an OG bounce mushroom in their tank, so I always enjoy looking at that thing. Expensive, but they're nice. There's definitely more room for different things in here. We're just waiting on the customer to give us the go ahead, but I'd like to add more fish, and I'd like to add more corals, but I think I think I'm gonna stay away from the LPS and maybe stick with some softies and stuff that can stand up to a anemone a little bit better, because I don't want to have to deal with that. Now, as far as what's powering this tank, I got 2 AI primes on here. 1 is definitely not enough. 2 for the spread you need. And then with the Innovative Marine, I like it. You know, you got your little overflow there. Comes with a protein skimmer. Your center areas where the return pump is. And we also have an automatic top off there to refill the fresh water when it evaporates. Another overflow there, and then a media reactor right there, which we put some carbon in. And then you got your return nozzles right in the middle of the tank, and they fork out. You can add some directional changes to them if you want, but we also have a power head in here, so there's plenty of flow in this aquarium. It's not bad for a little 20-gallon aquarium. I think Innovative Marine does a really good job, especially for the price. One thing I'll say is when you do add an anemone like this, you can see there's some star polyp back there as well, which is kind of going in because the anemone's stinging it. Is when you have an anemone like this that gets relatively big. I mean, it can cover this. I mean, it can stretch out from like here to here. You have to be prepared to give that anemone as much room as possible, because you really can't put anything here. Like if you just saw, I had to move this hammer coral because the anemone's stinging it and also stinging the star polyp on the back wall there. So when you get an anemone, you have to think that you're going to have to give it a lot of room, especially in a nano aquarium, because of the fact that like it's going to sting anything it comes in contact with, and it's going to move. It's going to do slight adjustments. It's going to move around. So just be prepared to, if you're doing a nano tank with an anemone, be prepared to give the tank to the anemone, and everything else is just like, you know, decoration. But always keep in mind that if you're doing a 20-gallon aquarium for an anemone, it's pretty much an anemone tank, and you can try to work around it the best way possible. But at the end of the day, that's the king of the tank.
All right, so this is my 20-gallon Nano Aquarium that I have in my room. Old school tank, still has the brace on it. Just got a cheap Night Crew LED light on there. Again, a little cheap $10 power head. This is kind of my experimental tank, something I just wanted to kind of try out. So let me kind of give you a tour of what we have in here. So number one, we have a bunch of macroalgae. I did have dragon's breath in here, but the dragon's breath ended up being moved to a different tank. I kind of miss it because it added a lot of color. But instead we have Halimeda and Caulerpa in here. So you can see some of the macroalgae over here. It's all growing throughout the substrate. And I love the way it looks. I love the way it's kind of like jungly, almost like a freshwater tank. Now this stuff grows really, really quickly, so I have to get in here and trim up, because if I don't trim up, it'll take over the whole aquarium. And then as far as corals go, I just have Kenya tree. I have the pink, and believe it or not, this is the green Kenya tree. You can see it much better under blue light. And I have Paligrandis right here, which I love that coral. I really hope it takes off. I have some zoas here. I have some zoas sporadically. All this stuff that is in here is all kind of stuff that is basically leftovers from the shop or customers' tanks, overgrowth like Kenya tree and Pallies and things like that we really don't sell. That's kind of overgrowth. I just kind of throw it in this aquarium because I feel so bad throwing stuff out. But some of the new additions that I have in here, which I'm really excited, is this clam. So that's a new addition to this tank. So I added the clam. So I want to get more cool inverts like that in here. And got that mushroom coral right there. Hopefully that takes off. And the other new addition is this rock flower anemone. I'm thinking of adding a lot more rock flower anemones to this tank, just because it adds a lot of color, especially when the blue lights are on. And this sponge right here has grown so much. It's actually starting to branch off. If you see down there, it's actually starting to branch off a bit too. Hopefully that sponge can grow and get some nice height on it, because it has great color with the white lights on, and it does a great job also keeping the tank clean by filtering the water. But yeah, I'm glad to see that sponge is doing well. And then we even have a little piece down here of sponge. This one's not doing as well, so I'm still hoping it comes around. I had a bunch of the feather dusters, but they're starting to die back. I've been doing a bit of water changes, and I think that because the water's been a little bit cleaner, I haven't had as many of the feather dusters. Then up top, we just have a plain flesh-colored cabbage coral. I think that's it for coral. I don't really have that much variety of coral besides, like, I have that red discosoma mushroom right there, which is really pretty. But I think that's it for coral. I want to add some more stuff. Kenya tree is cool and stuff like that, but the problem with Kenya tree is kind of boring looking, and I have plenty of it in here. So if you guys know of any other coral, I should add to this tank, please put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear it, because I want to add some more life to this tank. But I still want to keep it a macroalgae tank and put a bunch of cool inverts in here as well. Now, as far as fish, for those of you who don't know, I have a mascobia. I have 2 of those in here. I have a jawfish in here somewhere, but he used to hang out right here, but he's disappeared. He's back in there now. He's hidden away. I have a little mosquito fish up there. And the other new addition as far as fish go, I have some Tremagobies right there. I have 4 of these Tremagobies in the tank, which these things have great color on them. So there's 4 of these in here. They're all abouts through here. They're hard to see, they're small, but again, so far we have about, I think, less than 10 fish in here. And my goal is to have 20 fish in here. And when you do things like Tremagobies and other types of, there's a little goby right there too on the algae right there. So there's 3 of them right there. I'm just missing, and there's the last one towards the back. They're really cool, and they don't show up really good on camera, but they have great coloration on them too. They got this really pretty purple and like little yellow streaks on them. Really pretty fish. But I want to try to get 20 fish in this aquarium. And if they're all small like that, there's no reason why we couldn't do it. I did keep a little bit of the dragon's breath in here. See that little red spot right there? So we'll see what comes of that. Also got a surfing starfish right there hanging out. So that's another cool invert that's in this aquarium. Man, I love that clam so much. And oh yeah, I forgot, Pulsing is still doing all right. One problem I do have in this aquarium though is I got aptasia. This is what happens when you just grab stuff and you don't quarantine it. You just throw stuff in an aquarium. You do get aptasia. It's starting to spread a bit, but I'm okay with it because I think I'm gonna get some peppermints to put in this tank, and they'll take care of it. So again, this isn't gonna be a tank full of coral. This is gonna be more of softies and more anemones and things like that, cool inverts. So I'm not incredibly worried about the aptasia right now. And like I said, I'll put some peppermints in here. I also have these little barnacles throughout the tank. You can see them scattered throughout here. What I'm gonna do with that is I wanna get some barnacle blennies. I think that would actually make this tank. That's originally what I intended on with this tank, with these barnacles. So I want to get some barnacle blennies. I think that's the next fish I'm gonna try to order. If you guys have any other fish you think that would work really well in this tank, let me know down in the comments. I'm thinking clown gobies would be awesome too, maybe a coral croucher. I don't know, let me know, but I think I'm still less than 10 fish in here. I wanna get to 20, so come up with some cool ideas. And if you have any suggestions on inverts to put in here, maybe a flaming scallop or something like that, let me know down in the comments, because I want to really hook this macroalgae tank up. If you look inside this barnacle right there, there is a masked goby that likes to hide out in there. That's what's so cool about these little barnacles that I have set up throughout here. Is, oh, there he goes, he just poked his head out. There he is. That's what's so cool about these barnacles is, you know, these little fish have plenty of spots to hide, and they have more of their own space throughout this aquarium. So there's less aggression because there's so many things blocking up sites and so many little territories that you can fit a good amount of fish in this aquarium. Now I put a little bit of brine shrimp in there. You can see everybody starts to come alive a bit, including this starfish that was just kind of chilling right there. As soon as the food hits the water, he activates and starts moving along. And even our little gobies over here to the left here, everybody starts getting a lot more energetic once there's food in the water. So the tank really comes alive. All those fish that were hiding before all start coming out once you add a little bit of food to the aquarium. And camouflaged in pretty good is the jawfish right there. You can kind of see the eye shine. That's his spot right there. He built himself a little cave. He's got the shells laid out right there. That's his spot. And this tank is a simple setup. Like, it's just a hang on the back filter, cheap $40 light. Like, this is all stuff I had already, so there's nothing too intricate about this. Again, I'm just growing algae and simple corals with a hang on the back filter, so it's pretty chill. All right, onto the anemone tank. All right, and here is my little anemone tank. I really shouldn't say mine, it's actually my son's. This is his aquarium, and he's in charge of everything in here, from the scape to taking care of the animals and what animals go in here. So let me give you a quick tour. It's a very simple setup because he is only 4 years old. Got to make it simple for him. Hang on the back filter. We got a Kessel light on there. And then we have a stubby clownfish right there. Just a little guy. Now a stubby clownfish is a clownfish that is missing a couple of vertebrae. So it's actually shorter and stubbier, hence the name, than a regular clownfish. So this guy's going to be like a mini clownfish, which is really, really cool, and he is adorable. I love his markings too, and he's coming up to the camera because he thinks he's gonna get fed. We also have some shrimp in this aquarium as well. We have 4 of these sexy shrimp in there. They are really cool looking, and they stay small too. And then over here, the coral that we have is some green star polyp, which hopefully will end up taking over this whole sand bed. Once it starts to grow, I'd like to see it kind of spread throughout the sand bed. We have a little piece of sponge right there growing as well. And then we have the black widow anemone right there. And you can see to the left of that, there's an anemone crab. And he's already paired up with the black widow anemone already, which is really cool. That's a great symbiotic relationship right there. What else do you guys think we should add in this aquarium? Now keep in mind that anemone is gonna get a lot bigger, and we gotta be careful what we put in here because that's gonna sting whatever's coral or whatever we decide to put in here. But I wanna put some more inverts and smaller fish to go in here as well. So those are all my little nano aquariums I got going on right now. And I wanna pack them full with as much life as I possibly can. Just because they're small doesn't mean they can't be full of life. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.